seemed to overpower the creaking of the floorboards. She made her next move, moving the white rook. The pieces moved themselves again, and the black queen was in a threatening position. "Who's playing with me?" Pauline asked, her voice trembling. The answer was a whisper coming from everywhere. "The game requires attention and sacrifice." At that moment, she noticed that it was getting darker around her. The lights in the room were fading, and shadows began to slowly creep up to her chair. Pauline remembered her grandmother's words about the blackboard remembering more than it should. She jumped up and ran to the closet where the old papers lay. She found her grandmother's notes where she had mentioned strange dreams and footsteps she had heard in the night too. On one of the pages it said, "This board is not just a toy, it is connected to something ancient. Each move brings the player closer to the truth, but only a completed game frees or destroys." Pauline felt her palms become covered with sweat. She glanced at the board. The pieces froze, waiting for her next move. "What do you want me to do?" she whispered, trying to figure out how to get out of this trap. And then the shadows began to move. One of them separated from the wall and took the shape of a man. It was a tall man in ancient clothes, his eyes glowing with a cold light. "You're already in the game," he said, "and there is only one way out, to finish the game." Pauline realized that there was no way out. She made another move, moving the king. The man watched silently as the Black Knight made a move of its own, finding itself in a threatening position. "Why are you forcing me to play?" she asked. "Because every move is a step toward the truth, and the truth is what you fear most." Shadows began to fill the room, and Pauline felt the cold stiffen her legs. The man raised his hand, and the chessboard lit up. Pauline saw pictures of the past. A man sitting at the same board, but there is no one across from him. His moves seem to be fighting with themselves. Then the pieces come to life and he makes a final move, after which his body dissolves into shadow. Were you playing?" Pauline asked. The man nodded. "I lost, and now I'm here to finish what I started, but I won't be the one making the final move." Pauline looked at the board. The pieces were in a decisive position, and she had a fateful choice to make. "You will either win or take my place," the man said. Pauline raised her hand, realizing that everything depended on her next move. Pauline could hardly catch her breath. The room had become unbearably cold, and the light seemed to have completely disappeared, leaving only a dim glow emanating from the chessboard. The man in the ancient clothes stood motionless, his gaze seeming to press down on her. "You are approaching the finals," he said, his voice sounding like an echo in the void. "But remember, every move is a choice, and not always victory brings freedom." Pauline looked at the board. Her white king was in a difficult position, and the black queen and knight were threateningly frozen in attack. "If I lose,"